When you're live?
You could tell me when you can connect.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a delay again.
They're joining.
Who's joining? Hi, everybody. I think my cameraman decided today to trick you all and cover our technical mistakes by welcoming you with some Cretan music. And when our lovely Delia joins, we may play something more familiar to her. So we will wait. She should be here soon. Let her in, and then we can chat and cook. And yeah, I'm looking as well on the other phone. Hi, Gilly. Hi, Scotland, baking up there. I hope you are in the garden with a big pint. Can you see Delia live? No? Ah, hi! I've got stepchildren in Norwich watching. Hi! Maybe, Delia, if you can hear me, perhaps you can say hello or press live and John will let you in. I hope she's not arresting anybody. Hi, Sophia. She makes wonderful ceramics. My Sophia, love your dishes. Hi, Delia. So now we need to give you a proper welcome, Delia.
You done
okay.
it? I'm sorry, I was filling my glass.
Okay.
How are you?
Just bear with us 1 second, because John wants to welcome you properly. And he needs me as his camera assistant.
Okay.
Yes. We haven't done this before.
We're trying to double work things out as well. I'm a bit close to the camera right now. Bear with me. This is a night of technological advances within this household. I'm not really on the whole. I'm 29 and I have to ask. I mean, Irini is still a spring chicken, but I had to ask Irini for help on how to join the Instagram live video because I didn't have a clue.
I hear Delia. I have to come closer. What did you think of the Spanish music welcome?
I enjoyed it very much.
It's.
You know what? It's been so long since I've been back. Well, I say that. I mean, I went back in November with Chris, so can't really complain. But it feels like it's been ages.
Well, it is, and I think this lockdown has made us all lose total perspective of time. I have no idea what day it is, what time it is. Thank God for the lives. I remember what day and time it is.
Yeah. Well, I've got to say, I'm really lucky because I'm going to work every day, so that's keeping me very, very busy. So
are you going to work, did you say?
I'm going to work, yeah, still going to earn a bit more this month, so yeah.
Do you find there's an increase of crime in your area? Because that's all we keep hearing on the radio.
I think it went very quiet. It went very quiet initially, but now it's back to normal. Yeah.
Okay.
But how are you, Irini? Are you looking forward to your book coming out?
Yes, I am.
I'm looking forward to my son.
To be honest, I am a little tired of my book at the moment. I'm talking with people and they are working on it, or they're promoting, or they're doing things, and they tell me lovely things about it, and I'm saying, really? Because I worked on it for so long, I've lost total perspective now, and it's like I cannot appreciate it. I think when I hold it in my hand, it comes, I'll probably cry. Yeah. But Delia, darling, I think you've been also busy with meat and you've been doing various things. Tell us.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've been doing some work with a fantastic butchers from Smithfield Market called Ford and Sons, and well, Chris and I had planned to sort of do a bit of a half vegan diet a while ago because we watched some interesting documentaries and we thought, you know what, let's change it up a bit because he's always been very meat, and at one point I think we were buying about 60 eggs a week. So I thought, yeah, let's have a break. But now we've got these really good butchers delivering us meat. Well, yeah, there's no veganism in this house anymore.
The wrong time to become vegan, isn't it? When steaks arriving.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, we've been doing really well, doing a lot of cooking, so I'm looking forward to sharing some with you today.
Yeah, I love your recipes when you post. So what are you going to be making? Will you cook first for us?
Well, so when I posted the other day, I sort of asked people what they wanted, and the main answer was Spanish croquetas. I think it's one of those where people aren't that comfortable doing it until you see someone doing a demo, and then you know each step by step how it should look, what you should do. So we're going to do manchego croquetas, and we're going to send them with a romesco sauce.
Lovely. I told you romesco sauce. I can't wait to see how you make it.
Oh, good. I'm going to show you as well another variation that you can do of the croquetas, because you can literally do anything. You can go very, very traditional with jamon serrano or manchego cheese, or you can be a bit more out there and do different stuff, have a little bit of a play with flavours. So we'll see how you like this, and then what people decide to try at home.
Great.
Yeah. Should we start, or what are you doing, Irini, first? Because I want to know.
Before you start, I actually put Gilly says she's missing her Spanish holidays. We all
Gilly. Well, we got the wine, Gilly.
Yes, cheers. And I am making squid because John went to the fishmongers last week before I cooked with Gilly. And I put it in the freezer, and I thought I would do something Greek. But then, I live in Cambria. I've been here for 40 years, so I can't just, I like to play. There is still a bit of wild garlic out there, so I'm doing various things. But while you're cooking, what I wanted to ask our friends watching is if any of you want me to show you, if you've wanted to cook calamari and you haven't wanted to go anywhere near it, but you want me to show you how to do it, how to clean it, I've kept the whole one back and I can do that. So depending on whether I get these requests or not, I will clean one or not. So go for it, girl.
That sounds really good. I'm looking forward to that. Although I'm not happy because I've taken Chris, and I don't know how many treks to find wild garlic around here, and it's safe to say in Basildon there isn't any. So if anyone watching this that lives in Basildon or anywhere nearby who knows a spot where there is wild garlic, I will love you forever if you tell me, because the only place I found it is in someone's front garden and I didn't pick it from there.
Oh, come on, you should go in your uniform.
Well, I'd considered plucking a sprig or knocking on the door and asking, but then I thought, no, I'll leave it. I won't.
I'll send you some.
Okay, yeah, I look forward to that. Right, guys, I'll start showing you how to make Spanish croquetas. Now, I'll give you a very basic, what I'm going to tell you at the beginning. I will show you the mix for manchego croquetas, but the bechamel mix that you make the croquetas with needs to be made a few hours or maybe even a day in advance, because it needs to chill so that you can mould them. So the mix I've got is a bit different. I'll explain it all as we go. But basically, you need to, if you've got a deep fat fryer, fabulous, because then you can set the temperature to 170, and that's 170 Celsius. If you haven't, a wok is fab. Stick a meat thermometer or something like that in it. Make sure it's at 170. Test it out with a little bit of bread so it doesn't burn, so you know it's not too hot. And if it is too hot, just take it off, let it cool down for a little while. You learn, don't you, Irini? I think the best chefs have got a fair few oil splatter scars everywhere. Yeah, that's what you learn.
And things go wrong. So.
Oh yeah, things go wrong. I did a private dining event a little while ago, and I forgot about my fish skin that was crisping in the oven, and I set the fire alarms off in the entire house. So things definitely go wrong.
I bet they love that. A bit of excitement.
They did get very excited. We all smelled like Fag Ash Lil, but it was a good laugh. So, right. What I'm going to start with, guys, is I'll start my pan on here. I've got 50 grams of salted butter and 100 grams of flour. But what I'm going to start with, half a white onion or a small whole onion. I'm going to go in with my butter and a little bit of oil as well, because the oil will stop the butter sort of from browning, because I don't want this to be brown butter. So literally just a glove of oil, and I always use olive oil, because that's just, and if for those of you that didn't know, Irini is an olive oil sommelier. Do I say, Irini?
Yes, darling. And you've got some fabulous oil in Spain. I tried some, and oh my gosh, I can't wait to go to Spain now, focus on their oils.
And I didn't know that Greece does loads of olive oil, because they're really big on it as well, aren't they?
We are third largest producer in the world. Now, considering we're a tiny country, I think that's good going.
Yeah, that is good going. And you'll be doing wonders from now, Irini, as well, because I'm sure you've spoken about it in your book.
I didn't speak a lot about it, but I think ideally I would like to do a book around the Mediterranean, focusing purely on olive oil and then only cooking with olive oil.
Okay. I don't know if you've ever had it. Have you ever had olive oil ice cream?
Yes, and I make it. Yeah. And I make oil cocktails. They're amazing.
See, I don't need to go away this year for holiday. I just have to come to yours.
Yes, I can't wait.
That's it. That's what I like to hear. So, guys, once I built it, and I appreciate this is a slightly awkward setup. I was ready to cook outside with a really good sort of camping stove that I've got, until I realised the gas canister is actually empty. So, very good.
No, that works. Your cameraman is doing great.
He's all right. So once your butter's melted and it's hot enough to fry, we're going to go in with the onions and basically keep it on a low heat so that it doesn't burn, so the butter doesn't brown. But that will sort of take about 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes max. So on a low medium heat, really. So then that gets done. Well, I'm going to intermittently stir, but watching me stir might be a little bit boring. So in the meantime, I'll show you how to do the romesco sauce while the onions are on the go. That sounds good.
Okay. Is the cameraman?
Pardon?
Is the cameraman going to stir? Somebody better stir.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on them. I don't know if any of you have ever had romesco sauce before. So traditionally, my family is from Barcelona, and more specifically from Vilafranca del Penedès, which is in the region of Catalonia in the northeast. And this romesco sauce is really, really traditionally Catalan. And really, we have this with calçots, which are very, very similar to like a baby leek / a spring onion. So we have them barbecued, so they're really charred and toasty, and we have them with this sauce. Now, on the internet, you'll find loads and loads and loads of ways of doing this, and I've had this 1,000,001 times, and you'll find variations in colour from quite red to a lot whiter, and that's because it uses almonds. So really, depends on the amount of almonds you want to use. Now, I would traditionally just make mine in a blender, because it's just so easy. You want a little bit of texture in there, but literally all you need from a jar of roasted red peppers, just 1 roasted red pepper. Just stir in, my onions are good. We're doing all right, no fire alarms yet. So literally 1 red pepper, and you can see, you know, they're quite big. We're going to chop it up a little bit, just so that it makes the blending a little bit easier. And I'm just really, really roughly chopping this, just so that I can put it in here. Yes, sorry, Irini.
No. We have the same, a similar type of pepper in northern Greece called Florina peppers, and I get jars of the stuff because I use them in dips, in salads, in casseroles, and they are
so good,
so lovely.
And they have, you can try your own red peppers. That's, you know, always good, but these, because they've sat in this oil, they've got a different taste, a little bit sweeter. So in here, all I put is one of those peppers chopped up, about half a cup of extra virgin olive oil, because you want the good stuff, so that you get that real flavour in the back of your mouth. See, those onions are still going, so they're still good. I've got maybe about a tablespoon of flaked almonds. Again, you can use more if you want to. A garlic clove, chopped up. And then about a handful of parsley. And again, I'm just going to tear that a little and put it in, because I like this. This has always got a bit of a chunky texture, you know, a little bit rough. You don't want it smooth, because you want to get a little nugget of parsley here, a chunk of almond there, and that's what makes it taste really good. Because
is nugget a Spanish term?
It's a technical term. Nugget is a technical term. And then in there, we go with about a tablespoon of tomato puree. Again, I do a bit of a Jamie in the kitchen. It's a bit of a glug here and a splash of this, and chuck this in. So that's the best way to cook.
She wasn't like...
Pardon?
You went like that on MasterChef.
Oh God, don't. I've got over the stress of that. Do you know what I tell you? Guys, this is just 2 tablespoons of sherry vinegar. Okay, and it gives that a bit of a kick in the background. I can't believe how quickly this year has gone. I don't know where the time's gone, because it really doesn't feel that long ago that we were doing that, Irini, honestly.
Yeah.
And I still don't begrudge you for winning, you see. My teammates at work constantly call me, oh, where is she? Second place, third place? What do we call you? I'm like, runner up, thank you. Or finalist, whatever you prefer.
We were all winners. Come on.
Oh yeah, we had the best time, the absolute best time. All I've put in there after my 2 tablespoons of sherry vinegar, I've got my tomato.
Gosh, I hope people can hear you.
Am I a bit blurry?
Is she blurry, Irini? Or John?
Yeah.
For us it is, but I don't know for everybody watching if it is.
Yeah.
Because we don't always picture of sound or picture, you know, image.
Is that any better? It might be my phone camera.
That is better.
Oh, and that's me cleaning the camera. Is that a bit better?
Yes, it is better, definitely.
I apologise. I do need to get a new phone. So, guys, my onions are nearly done. So they're nearly done. So you can see they've been on the low heat, sizzling a bit with the butter in the oil, but the butter's not browned and they've not burnt, and that is what you want. And they've been on there for about 7 minutes or so. So in the mixer, I've just thrown a bit of rock salt in there as well. Now, this is going to be a bit noisy. Nope. Now you can see, let me put that over there. You can see that there's texture in there. Can you see that?
Maybe you need to use in a spoon, like with a spoonful. Oh yes, I can see.
Yeah, so you've got little nuggets of garlic there. You've got a bit of almond. You've got a bit of everything.
Lovely. I love the color. Beautiful.
Honestly, you can't go wrong with that. And that is a perfect dipping sauce. So I shall serve that up once we're near the end. What I'm going to do now, guys, if you come back this way. So we've got our 50 grams of butter, a little bit of oil, half a white onion. Then we're going in with 100 grams of bechamel. Of flour. And the other thing that we're going to need is 500 millilitres of tepid milk. Now, you want it to be tepid because when you make a bechamel, you always want the milk to be a little bit warm. So that keeps it...
I have to say, G. McCord is very rude about us. And she's saying, I sabotaged your picture.
You sabotaged my picture? Which picture? Oh, my camera picture. I knew it was you. I knew it was you. So, apologies, I forgot to warm my milk. You need 500 millilitres of tepid milk. So, this is always, now don't be scared, because this is what scares people. As soon as I put this flour in, it is going to stick and it is going to turn into balls. But that is, well, not actual, yeah, it's gonna go into lumpy flour. That is not something to worry about, because this is what you want. You want to be cooking out the flour. If you look in there, we're getting all the flour from the outside. You can use a spatula, and that's going to go into a bit of a dough. But you know this well, Irini, as well. It's just about confidence, isn't it? So it's just about having that on a heat and cooking out the flour. That's the important thing, isn't it?
It looks like you're about to make soup pastry, actually.
Yeah, it does. So I find making pastry very therapeutic. And there's a lot to be. No, not yet. I've got to put the reins on my cameraman. He's about to chuck my milk in. So what I'm going to do for about a minute and a half, I'm just cooking this flour out, and essentially the butter's heating through it, and once it cooks out, you end up with that really lovely, smooth, silky, creamy croquette, and you can't taste that flour because it has got a distinctive taste, like corn flour does. I mean, I think we all do it. You'll put it in your sauces to thicken it a little bit, but sometimes when it gets that doughy flavour, it's not something that you want, which is why patience, and don't be uncomfortable by the way this looks. So we've cooked that out, and you look at it, and it starts, you can see the butter starting to dry out a little bit. Yeah?
So, sorry, Delia, the flour has gone into the butter and oil with the onion, yes?
With the onions, yeah. And the onions have been so finely chopped and cooked for so long that they've basically disappeared. Because Chris doesn't like onions. He's had these a million times, and he was adamant they didn't have onions, and I make them every time with onions. So for those of you with children that don't eat their vegetables...
Delia, your work colleagues are getting in on this.
What are they? Oh, God, which ones?
Tudor and Naz.
What are they saying?
Nothing.
Very good. Okay, right. Right, guys, so the flour's being cooked out. Now I feel like I'm being watched. Yeah? Now I know how it feels when I'm at work and I'm watching people. Right. So, guys, we've got 500 millilitres, so half a litre of milk. You want to warm it through so that it is tepid, because the next bit is going to make you feel a bit uncomfortable. You want to put enough, ready? It's going to sizzle and it's all going to sort of stick together, which is absolutely fine. And it will stick to the bottom of the pan, but it will do that. We've got it on a low heat. We're going to keep mixing until it's all incorporated. And as much as it looks like it's burning and sticking to the bottom of the pan, we are mixing that in, and it's going to it's almost going to deglaze. It's not alcohol, obviously, it's milk, but it's going to come away from the bottom of that pan. So I'm splatting it a bit, but let me take a hold of that. And you can see already that all of that sticky residue that was on the bottom that's starting to make you think it's burning is coming away. Then we add a bit more, and add a bit more at a time, mix it in, and keep it on the heat. Don't take it off. Have you ever made these before, Irini?
No, I was actually going to tell you that I've never made croquettes this way before.
Is there anything like them in Greek cooking?
Well, we make lots of fritters, and amongst the fritters, we also make potato fritters with various things. But actually, I tend to bake the potato first, then scoop out the flesh, and then add everything into that. I like to use a kind of dried breadcrumbs we have in Greece with an egg to bind what other ingredients go in. So we make them quite differently.
Okay, yeah, that is different. I think croquettes in England as well always tend to be potato.
Right.
Yeah. So if you get a look in there, you can see that we've added the majority of the milk, almost all of it, and it's coming together. And you want it to be thick because as it cools, it will harden, and that's what you need. You need it to be this texture for the shaping, because if it's too liquid, you won't be able to shape.
So why don't you add the all at once?
We don't add the milk all at once because you need it to be incorporated slowly. If you add it all at once, you run the danger of it being a lump of flour swimming in the milk. I mean, so it's all, you know, there's a bit of science to this, and keep beating. If you don't go to the gym, you can do this and then still not go to the gym because you feel like you've been. So there you go. Everyone's happy.
Not that anyone could go to the gym at the moment.
No, but I'm not going to lie. I don't mind that.
So make a lot of croquettes.
Yeah, so make a lot of croquettes and you'll find you've got one massive arm with a massive bicep and the other one's still tiny.
Somebody's asking if the milk is hot or cold. You said, but I didn't hear.
So you want it lukewarm, but like baby feeding temperature. So if it's too cold, if it's too cold, it just slows down the process because every time you add the cold milk, it brings the temperature down. And that was something John Rhodes taught me. So thank you, John. So you want it warm so that it maintains that temperature so that you can keep adding. And then it's gonna still be that temperature and it's not gonna take so long, and then the texture is gonna be as you want it. So guys, this
Delia, someone's asked what temperature is baby feeding temperature?
Right, for those not aware of baby, again it's a technical term. When you have your baby bottle, you know, you put a bit on your wrist to see if it's warm, and it's just a little bit warm. All right, a little bit warm. So if we have a look now, you can see that that is really thick. But like I said, none of it's sticking to the bottom of the pan. And then it's at this point when it's at that warm temperature that you want to add whatever you're flavouring it with. So here I've got about 150 grams. And again, you can't have too much cheese. And this is manchego. So it's got a high melting point. It's not going to melt the whole way through, but it's one of those where you want to have a bit of texture. Because if you bite into it and you've got, you know, you get a little lump of cheese here and there, that's nice.
What part of Spain does manchego come from? Oh,
Who's asking me this?
No, I'm asking you.
I don't know. I don't know. I've eaten it since I was. I don't know. Does anyone know? If anyone could post an answer on here, someone just do a quick Google, save me the embarrassment. That'd be really great. I'm going in with a bit of smoked paprika. Julie, Irini, do you know?
Julie says La Mancha.
Oh, that would make sense. Manchego La Mancha. All right, I was just testing Chile.
Chili's more Spanish than you, isn't she?
Right, I've gone in with about a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then I personally think anywhere where cheese is involved, just a pinch of nutmeg, because that always gives it a nice kick. So again, mix it, and you can see the cheese is starting to melt in, and you just got a bit of a dusting of smoked paprika going in there, and that smoked paprika is going to give it a little bit of that sort of aftertaste of chorizo that you get when you have that, because obviously that's smoked paprika sausage. Next, we're going to season with salt, and then we're going to season with a bit of black pepper as well. So loads and loads of freshly ground black pepper, and then basically you're going to leave this to cool for a few hours. So this is obviously, we've done this now, and this will be left to cool. Leave it to cool in a bowl, then place it in the fridge. Then I'm going to show you one that I made earlier. So guys, basically, when it's cooled, it's going to be like this, and it will look dry, yeah? But that's just because the bechamel has cooled, and now it's at a point where you can shape it, and that is the perfect texture. So it needs to cool completely, absolutely completely. Then I'll place them in the fridge. What I've done, and for those of you that don't like getting your hands dirty, or those of you that aren't sure on how to size it, this mixture is actually a different variation, and this again is really typically Catalan. So this is the same bechamel base, but with goat's cheese, spinach, pine nuts and raisins, and this is my favourite. So so I've done the same bechamel mix, and then at the same point where I've added my manchego, like I've done tonight, I've added the goat's cheese, the spinach, and that's sort of wilted through because of the residual heat from the bechamel sauce. Then you leave it to cool. Place it in a piping bag, cut the top off, and then you can just squeeze them out, and they're your perfect croquette shapes that you want, really perfect sizes, because tapas is all about it being little morsels and being bite-sized. So literally, guys, you just have a knife at the ready here. So it's in your piping bag, and then just squeeze, and then literally just cut it off and mold it around at the bottom of the shape.
Delia, somebody's saying that nuts, should they put something else or just omit them?
Substitute for nuts.
Substitute for nuts. If you're not a fan of nuts, leave them out. If you want a bit of crunch, what would you put instead of nuts if you want a bit of crunch? The good thing about nuts is that when they're in the wet mixture, they maintain their crunch, because things that you might add the texture otherwise, like chicken skin or crackling, in the midst of that mixture is going to go a bit soggy. So if you don't like nuts, just leave them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you had croquetas in Spain before, Irini?
Yes.
Yeah? What flavours did you have?
Oh gosh, I can't remember. It's a long time ago, and to be honest, every time there was so much food, because you go to a tapas bar and before you know it, you've got like 10 dishes in front of you. So I only remember I loved it all.
Yeah. These are my favourites, and I think, and I saw that Panisha as well, that was on MasterChef with us girls last year, she posted her croquetas de jamón tonight, and they're very typical Spanish flavour. The smoked cod ones as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong. Mushroom ones, chicken ones. So anything you fancy, you know, have a go. So then these have been cooled. They're going to be a little bit sticky, and this is where you have to get your hands dirty to a degree. But place them in. We're going to pane. So flour, dust it off a little bit, and then it's going to go into egg. And then this is the not so typical bit. In Spain, we tend to coat them in really golden breadcrumbs, but I prefer the texture of panko because it's just a bit crispier. I don't know what you prefer, Irini.
Me too.
Yeah, I just think that it allows it for it to be a bit crispier, and also because they're bigger, because the panko breadcrumbs, they keep more of a hold on the shape of the croquette. So I think that's always for me, you're gonna be better off using those. Now you can see I'll do a few so that we've got a few. And again, this is just therapeutic. You're just staple really for a lot of things that you do in a fryer: flour, egg, and then your breadcrumbs.
Someone said, is that basically a British carbonara?
Oh dear. Oh dear. No, no, no. Although, again, you want to have a plate? Put bacon in it. Do it with the bechamel, and then you want to serve it with a cured egg yolk or something like that. Not a bad idea. Might take one. Might take that as an idea. So I'll do a third one. And then we'll get these in the fryer. And like I say, the best thing about these is that because they do take a little bit of work and you have to wait and cool it down, and if you want to do a big batch but you don't want to be eating them forever, then you can make them in advance. You can keep them in the fridge or you can freeze them. You want to freeze them for, up to several months, then you can deep fry them from frozen. So you don't have to muck about with defrosting and worry about how much time it's going to take for this, that and the other. Just do it and Bob's your uncle. I don't have an uncle called Bob, but I don't know why I said that. Right. So fryer is at 170. So we're going to put our croquetas in our basket. Do you know what? That looks a bit stingy. I'll do a couple more. And my fryer...
So, sorry,
what?
So you're doing 5? Yeah. Is this why all Spanish needers sleep in the afternoon because they eat too many croquetas? Is
that what someone's asked? Was that
no,
you?
That's me.
Because you should know by now. Right. So, obviously, people get very stressed out in my household because I'm normally the one that cooks dinner, but I will tell you that it's going to be at 7 o'clock and it will be at 9 or 11, and dessert might be at 11:30. But how late do the Greeks eat, Irini?
Not as late as the Spaniards, that's for sure. Because I remember that very well. We ate very late in Spain.
We do, and we eat a lot. So we eat very late and a lot.
So we eat at maybe 9 o'clock in the summer months, 9:30.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. And then you're eating outside as well.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so guys, I've got a pair of tongs at the ready, just so that you can prevent, if you see the croquetas sticking to the bottom of your wire basket, you can just, move them about. That's the word I need. Move them about so they don't stick and then they're not going to tear. Have a plate with draining paper at the ready so that you're ready to drain them of any excess oil. And like I said before, if you've got a wok with oil, then again, absolutely fine. So they're in, and I've just moved them straight away off the bottom. Oops, sorry. So they're bubbling away, and they'll be there for about 2 minutes until they're golden brown. So I'll keep an eye on them. And I would serve these with a drizzle of honey. Truffle honey is really good if you've got it. And a little bit of salad. The manchego ones with the paprika, with the romesco sauce, absolutely. But I've made that mix now, so I'll wait to eat that with the romesco. I won't use my romesco with the spinach one, but I'll wait for these to cook. But is there anything you could be showing us, Irini?
While you're cooking, why not? I will put my oil. Sorry, guys, we've gone unhealthy tonight. We are cooking in oil, frying basically. Because there are different ways to fry, but to quick. However, it would be nice to have something with a calamari. So what I did, I roasted. I gather nobody wants to see me clean it that away. I roasted the potato, which I've got potato flesh here, and I made some wild garlic pesto, and that's really all we are going to use. Well, not all, but primarily the flavor with the wild garlic pesto, which has all the typical pesto ingredients, nuts, and it doesn't have garlic, obviously. It's garlic enough, but it's got lemon and olive oil and pineapple. I use classic, you know, recipe. I like crunch, like you. I like textures, so I am putting in some Cornish and just to add a bit of crispiness and a few chives. But really, that's all.
So what
And
pesto, Irini?
sorry,
What nuts have you used in your pesto?
or the typical pine nuts. I use all kinds of nuts, and recently I was watching Massimo Bottura, who has, I think, 2 Michelin stars in it, and he was I was watching a masterclass, and he was saying how he has departed from the cuisine mother and his grandmother, and once he had to cook somewhere, and he had forgotten the nuts, and he used dried breadcrumbs. And how good is that? You know, you've got to think on your feet, and you've got to use what you've got. And I keep saying to people, don't stress in the kitchen, just use, you know, things that you've got in your cupboards, in your fridge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
for that person that asked about putting nuts in this, dried breadcrumbs. Fine.
Sorry?
I said for the person who was asking about putting nuts, if they didn't want to put nuts in this, they can put dried breadcrumbs in it.
Yes, why not? It would be nice.
I'll just show you quickly, Irini, because these are done.
Okay.
So I'm getting them out, and you can see that the golden and crispy, and the bechamel started oozing out of some of them. So literally, I'm just going to drain them on here. I'm going to watch Irini, and then I'll serve this after. Sorry to interrupt you, Irini. Carry on.
No, that's all right. Because I'm waiting for my oil. But basically, we create the base of the potato. That every element again of the dish is the recipe, so you will know exactly how to make the wild garlic pesto. Every element. So we create a basis for our squid, which we'll sit on when it comes out. Yeah. Now, squid, cleaned it, washed it, cut it dry, and then just sprinkled a bit of lemon juice on it and salt, and almost marinated it in the lemon and the salt. So about an hour. Sometimes I of ouzo, but I didn't want the ouzo flavor tonight. And after an hour, you drain all the liquid from the bowl, and it's ready to use. That's our ring. What I also made, because we are using garlic flavors, this is out of Simon Rogan's book. I didn't adulterate it at all. I used it as a recipe. Is Greek yogurt and black garlic, which actually it's a fantastic thing, and it goes beautifully with the calamari. And all we are going to also have on our plate, apart from our calamari, will be a few salad leaves. And really, sometimes I like simple flavors. When you've got a lot of flavors going on a plate, you then don't want more flavor on other things. So our salad leaves will only have, oops, I forgot my lemon, a little bit of oil and a dash of lemon juice, just a little bit, nothing else, because there's a lot going on with everything.
What was with the black garlic, Irini? Bulgur?
Sorry?
What was with the black garlic?
Yogurt.
Oh, yogurt. Oh, sorry. Okay, I completely misheard that.
It's Greek yogurt and a little bit of salt. That's all.
Oh, yeah. I like the sound of that.
And yeah, that goes with the squid very nicely. So,
for those that haven't had black garlic, Irini, how would you describe the taste of it?
I mean, it is garlicky, but it's a fresh garlicky flavor, and it's less intense. because you are eating a vegetable. It's a leaf. It's not the white pulp of a garlic. So it's definitely quite fresh and garlicky. Sometimes if you don't want a lot of garlic flavor, you can mix it with spinach or parsley and blend it. So when you make a garlic oil and you don't want it too pronounced, I personally love it. I don't mind. But yeah, we are a house in Greek cuisine. Funnily enough, we don't actually use that much garlic. We love onion. Onion goes in everything.
Okay.
But I love garlic. And
yeah, we use a lot of garlic. We're the opposite.
yes, Spanish food. Yes, I've seen that, but I love that. I can't wait to go. And I have pickled some wild garlic buds. I don't know if you've ever pickled them or if you've seen them.
I haven't ever pickled them. Oh, tell me more, please.
Oh, they're gorgeous. Really, I make a pickling solution always. It's always the same, long term, which is say 1 cup of vinegar, 2 cups water, 2 tablespoonfuls of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And you bring that to the boil. You let it cool, and you put your jar together with whatever else you are pickling. Here, you can use aromatics, of course. I only use some pink pepper, which I picked from Crete. But they have a beautiful crunch, and the flavor is actually quite different from the leaf, obviously from the black garlic. So our plate, you can see, is ready. And what we will do is we'll put our little black garlic puree in a little bit of cucumber, just to make it look pretty, not for any other reason. When it's John and me eating, this doesn't happen. You understand that? You understand? Like on the plate.
I understand. Don't you worry, Irini.
But sometimes when I want to treat him, I will go a little bit more fancy. But actually, when we entertain, oh, of course, and Delia, the flowers. Can you see? These are the wild garlic flowers.
Oh, I think I delayed a bit. Go on. Where are... Oh, yeah, they're beautiful. I love wild garlic flowers, yeah.
John is telling me off that I shout a lot.
For those of you that didn't know, and I think Julie said it on your cook-off the other day, sometimes when Irini gets a bit stressed, the volume goes up and the stress levels mount, and we end up calling her Huffy Puffy. This is our term of endearment towards her.
Characterization. And he used to sometimes tell me, breathe, Irini, breathe, breathe. Sorry, guys, if we are delaying you. I need to fry my calamari, but that only takes 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes. Plenty of, oops, sorry. Okay, some seasoning, only a bit of salt because I had already salted them a little, some pepper, and lots of flour. Yeah.
So that's all you're batching your calamari with, Irini? Flour, salt and pepper?
Exactly. Because they have retained, I didn't pat them dry after I marinated them. They are just a little bit damp, so the flour sticks on them, and they are ready to go in. And our oil.
What did you marinate in again, Irini?
Sorry?
What was the marinade for the squid?
Literally this time some lemon juice and a little bit of salt. But sometimes I add a splash of ouzo, and it's delicious. They're really great.
Yeah, that's it.
Not this time. I didn't want to mess up the garlic flavor with the aniseed. It just doesn't work. So just a little bit of lemon.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah.
I don't have a deep fry like you. But remember, in Hong Kong, I had asked for a deep fryer to be at a certain temperature, and then it didn't work, and it totally freaked me out. So I'd much rather not use a deep fryer. They mustn't be overcooked because they become like rubber. If you ever eat them sweet, it's because it has been overcooked. Otherwise, it's a delightful thing. Now, I would add.
Oh, you
sorry, Delia?
Get that?
I didn't hear that.
We didn't get that, Delia.
I didn't get that when you cut out there.
So I was saying that if anybody has eaten bad calamari outside in a taverna or somebody's house or wherever, it's because it was overcooked.
Absolutely.
And all it needs, again, it loves lemon. A little bit of lemon. With a black garlic sauce. Get the fancy stuff here. I would also serve some in a bowl. You really need lots of that sauce to dip it in.
Yeah.
So there is the plate. If the cameraman can show you.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
So just a few salad leaves, the pickled buds of the garlic, the black garlic sauce, the calamari on top of the potato.
That looks absolutely beautiful.
It makes you feel that you're eating something healthy and you forget the deep fried bit.
I wish I could say the same about mine.
Well, croquettas. We love them.
Well, that looks absolutely delicious, Irini. Shall I plate mine up for you?
Yes, please.
Okay. So everything that I cook in disarray. I will not lie to you. So this is how things end up looking. I start off all tidy, but now it's like a bomb's hit the kitchen. And it really, I don't know. I don't think I was that bad when we were on MasterChef, was I? Fairly organised.
No, we needed to be organized because the time pressure was such that you couldn't be disorganized.
No. No, you could not. I've got this is just so simple. Salad leaves, a drizzle of oil, and I'm just going to place my croquetas on top because you don't really want anything with these, to be honest. They've got so much flavour, and they've got the goat's cheese, which is strong, quite sharp. It's got the sweetness of the salt, the raisins running through it, the pine nuts, and creamy. And all I do is finish mine off with a little bit of black pepper. And then with these ones, just to cut through the richness of the goat's cheese, I'm just going to drizzle a tiny bit of honey. But like I said, if it was the manchego ones, I'd be sitting them on a bed of that romesco. But for these, just a little bit of honey over the top. And that's it. There you go. You've got goat's cheese croquetas. If you want the whole thing in Spanish, is croquetas de queso de cabra con pasas, espinacas y piñones. But that's a bit of a mouthful. So we'll just go with croquetas. And for those of you that want to try these at home, any questions, give me a shout. I'll be happy to help.
Danica?
Delia, they look amazing.
Thank you. They're quite rough. But I can imagine now I'm going to finish the batter and have them for dinner.
So thank you very much. It was so nice cooking with you tonight.
And you, Irini. And for those of you that are wondering what the texture's like, when you break them open, you can see that the bechamel is still firm, but it's hot inside because I've just touched it, and it is gooey and crispy. And I can imagine your cameraman is going to get the same treatment for your calamari, Irini.
Oh,
I
lovely.
suspect you're right.
But you got to take a picture first.
That's right. I have some more to fry anyway.
Oh, it was so nice cooking with you, Irini. For those watching, have you got another cook-off coming up with Maria Elia, who you often cook with?
No, we finished with Maria for now, but I've got one coming up with Simon Rogan that I'm very excited about.
I can imagine. Oh, I'll be tuning into that one.
Well, I will be cooking one of Simon's dishes, and he will be commenting, and I'll be asking him questions, and we will be chatting. I don't think I want him to cook.
Oh, that sounds really good. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you, darling. Thank you very much for tonight, and thank you everybody for watching us.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Bye.
Watching, have a fab week, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.